here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
For some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
Welcome in a Monday edition of Live at Lunch, live from the ESPN Baton Rouge studios, sponsored by Mercedes-Benz, right here at Guarantee Media. This show is going to look a lot different than it normally is. We are not on location. Obviously, Jimmy Ott, Charles Hannegriff, neither are here today. Taylor Sharp filling in. We're going to have a little bit of fun today, guys. We're going to recap our 4th of July weekend. We are going to get into some sports. Troy Mocker from Bet Rivers is going to join us, as he does every Monday at 11:30. But again, Taylor Sharp sitting in the host chair right now for the next 2 hours. We got Cassie Spazzali. Thank you so much for picking up this shift, because I told you about it about 10 minutes ago. Jordan's here.
Oh yeah,
I'm not really gonna thank Jordan. He's here. This is his normal show. But you know what? Thanks for coming into work today on a Monday. How we feeling today, guys?
Well, I say it like this, man. It was very difficult waking up this morning. You know, I've been gratefully.
We had a 3-day weekend, Jordan.
I had a damn near a 5-day, feels like, for me, because I was off Thursday and Friday. So it was very challenging waking up this morning. I'm like, damn, man, I got to go back to work. It feels like I've been living in paradise. Just waking up and doing nothing. That's all I wanted to do this whole break. Wake up, do nothing, and eat. That's it. I don't want to drive. I don't want to do nothing. Don't tell me to do this. Don't tell me to do that. I just want to chill, and I did that.
You know, we all should have just became rich. I don't know how. We should have just done that. We could have done that. We could have done that every day. Just woken up at noon, done whatever we wanted.
Hey, it's still early. We got time. We will get there. We will get there.
Cassie, how are we? Your day got a lot busier about 10 minutes ago.
Yep. That was very fun. Good thing I didn't have much to do, so we're good. We're good. Like Jordan said, I was very tired this morning and slept in a little later than I should have. But I went to Galveston this weekend, so that was fun.
I saw. So y'all went to the beach at Galveston?
Yeah, we went to Galveston Beach.
I saw you posted you went to the beach.
Yeah, my best friend has an internship there, so we went and visited her. So we went and spent it at the 4th on the beach. Got a little too burnt, but it was
All
fun.
Right. Give it to me straight. It's fine. We don't know anybody from Galveston other than who you're hanging out with. How are the beaches? Just give it to me straight.
They're not great.
That's what I've heard.
They're not great.
That's what I've heard. It's not even. It's a beach by name only, right?
Yes.
Shout out Charles Barkley.
It was not great. I got stung by a jellyfish.
Really?
Yep.
You got stung by a jellyfish?
Yep.
What?
It was not fun. It was right under my armpit too. It hurt
under
so
your
bad.
Armpit? How deep in water were you?
Yeah. What is going on?
We were jumping over the waves. We went pretty deep. But it was not fun.
You know, I have to ask this. Is the rumor true about if you get stung by a jellyfish, you have to pee on it?
I refuse to let somebody pee on me.
But was that an idea? Was the idea tossed out there I got to pee on you?
The idea was tossed out, but I would not let anybody pee on me. I just put some ice on it. I was like, I'll deal with it.
So what is the recovery process with a jellyfish thing? This is out of my ballpark. You know?
Well, I mean, all I did right after was just put ice on it until it kind of stopped stinging. And then afterwards, I put some aloe on my sunburn.
Yeah, I
so
definitely
put
need that.
Some aloe on the sting, and
probably cleaned it up for sure.
It literally just stung that first day, and it doesn't hurt anymore.
Okay, let's not bury the lead here. Jordan, you have never been stung by a jellyfish?
No, not even close.
What the hell's wrong with
I've been
you?
stung so many times.
What the? Whoa. Why do you guys have various jellyfish stings going on here?
Bro, I've had so many.
Are you serious? This a bit? Are you serious?
No, I'm 100% now.
What have you on here?
I've never been stung above the knee like Cassie over here in the armpit. I've been leg down, but no, and so many times. We used to go to Gulf Shores every 4th of July. Now that I'm married, my sister's married, all that, we don't do it as much anymore. But when we were growing up, we would go, it was our big summer vacation. We would do 10 days at the beach. And every year, the jellyfish were really, really bad.
What
just happened to be bad, early July.
Yeah.
And oh man, look, we would go we'd catch them in the net we were SpongeBob out there.
Bro, we would do the jellyfish too.
Oh yeah. People would do a big pit kind of. You dig one in the sand and dump the jellyfish in there. Looking back on it, that killed all of them. So you probably shouldn't do that. But at the time, we were like 8, man. We didn't know.
Okay, so
but we did, yeah.
When I go to the beach, the second I'm in the water and I just feel like it's you feel that slope where it's just getting I'm good. I don't need to because
bro,
I don't know what's
you're-
out here. I'm good.
You could still get a jellyfish.
That's what I'm saying. I've
Next
never-
time, no. You're gonna go to the beach with me. We're gonna intentionally get you stung by a
then I'm gonna get
jellyfish.
stung by a jellyfish
of
now.
this is a rite of passage.
Go catch a jellyfish and
Dude,
just
okay.
make it sting him.
All right, so Taylor, if you had, how many times, if you had just guessed, because you said multiple times, how many times have you got stung by a
Bro,
jellyfish?
I mean, I can't count. 20? 15? I don't know.
Okay, 20's crazy.
I don't know. I mean, a lot. I don't know. I'm just
I
guessing.
think I've been stung maybe like 5 times.
I'm just
in my life, but like 20's
probably
crazy.
not 20. Probably closer to like 10 to 12.
Oh,
but
they
I
must
mean,
don't hurt then. They must don't hurt.
Oh, it hurts in the moment, but like after that initial sting, it's like,
it'll go away after like 20 minutes.
Because like outside looking in, I like animals and whatnot. So when I see jellyfish, it's like, oh, I'm in agony. Oh, you gotta pee on me, pee on my foot or something. Apparently not. Apparently it's like, oh nah, it's you get stung, just keep it. Have a beer, you'll be alright. Just keep it pushing. Like I can't believe this.
I guess just because I've been stung so many times,
Yeah.
it doesn't bother me anymore.
Y'all
But
acting
I
like
think,
this
I think
a,
my first one hurt a lot.
Y'all are acting like this a bee sting. Like, yeah, I
We,
got stung by a bee.
Well,
Alright.
we did the whole like, my buddy was at the beach one time, the jellyfish and the pee thing. We did that one time.
I refuse to let anybody pee
The
on me.
weirdest part, he didn't get stung by a jellyfish looking back on it. So. I'm totally kidding, man. Okay, look. Moving from that, like what did Cassie obviously went to
Yes.
Galveston.
Yes.
What did Jordan Kitchens do other than avoid jellyfish at all costs on 4th of
avoid
July?
jellyfish. So the 4th was Friday. Went to the fam. Had good eats. Of course, you gotta have good eats. I learned that it's proper etiquette when you go to these cookouts and whatnot. Do not leave your plate. Do not leave your to-go plate. If you have kids, that is just as important as leaving with your children. Like if you leave your to-go plate at the spot,
I mean,
it's gone.
There's definitely a pecking order there as far as like
Is it really?
children versus to-go plate, but I mean, yeah.
I don't know,
To each
man.
his own.
Depending on how good that to-go plate looking, and I know like when I get back to the house, I'm just thinking about this the whole ride back. You cannot leave your to-go plates. Cause my mom, this is why I'm bringing it up. She left her to-go plate, and it didn't hit her until we was like 20 minutes from the house, like damn near at the house. She's like, just start screaming. Ah! And I'm like, whoa, yeah.
It's a very
I'm like,
good
yeah,
reenactment.
What's wrong, Mom? I left my to-go plate, and I just sat there. I'm like, hate to say it, my family kind of big, so that plate gone, bro. Yeah, that plate is long gone.
When you say big, do you mean
No, we not.
no?
Yeah.
Just the number of people
Okay.
or the size of said people?
So it kind of skews the numbers. So you got some big. You got some that are
Okay,
just a
big in
little-
terms of size. No,
Yeah.
size
Talking
is set
size.
numbers.
We down
Like,
south, bro. We down south. Look.
I
Hey,
got it. I didn't want to assume nothing. I just wanted to make sure.
Listen. Taylor, if you leave your to-go plate, it's gone. Like, just give you a visual. They're not picking that to-go plate and saving it like, oh, yeah, Sonya's going to come back and get this. It's like, oh,
no. Okay,
free
first
food.
off, no. If you leave the to-go plate, it is now a community plate.
Yeah,
Like
there you go.
That's
There you go.
100% how it goes.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad you had a good 4th of July. Not nearly as bad as your mother
Yeah,
had. She did not have as good of a time.
At all.
But, okay, as far as what I did, so Friday we go get a little barbecue, like as a family. Like me and Victoria, we go get the burger, the hot dog. We had everything set up. Then my family calls me, hey, we're going out to eat, and we're going to go see the new Jurassic World movie. So we do that on Friday. I'll tell you this, not a major spoiler,
Yeah.
disappointed in the Jurassic World movie.
Ooh.
Really?
Nobody died.
Oh, wow.
That's why
That's a
you're
major
just
No,
spoiler.
but like, look, it'll sound bad saying it like that, but I'm just saying, like you building up the suspense. You're like, all right, I know one of them's gonna go. Like,
Yeah.
I think like 12 people went to the island. I think like 10 left,
Oh,
and they were like
that's
side characters. Like it was just like
the side characters making it?
no, the side
oh.
characters were they went like as soon as they got there.
Yeah.
The last 40 minutes of the movie was just like, all right, we're gonna show up. We're gonna see 3 dinosaurs. We're gonna hide from them, and we're gonna get the hell out of here. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
that was the whole movie.
Oh,
It was
so-
just like it was fine, but
Damn.
not much of a plot.
just a little anticlimactic.
So can
Yeah.
you say it might be time for the series? Like it's time to wrap it up.
Cut it off.
We're done. Are we done?
Yeah, you're done.
We're done.
You're done. I enjoyed it. Like it was a good movie.
Yeah.
It was just I don't know.
Oh,
I go because I'm easily entertained. I don't
Yes.
have to think about a lot of things. I can just sit here and sit back and watch a movie and enjoy people running from T-Rexes. That's fun.
yeah.
Right?
Jurassic Park.
Good entertainment movie. I think it's ran its course.
It's ran its
I'm
course.
sitting there in the theater and I'm like, I I'm not enjoying this as much as the other ones. And I'm somebody that like actually enjoyed like the Chris Pratt Jurassic World. Like I actually, I didn't hate that. This one,
the Dominus Rex or whatever it was called. Yeah.
This one a little bit different.
You don't like Jonathan Bailey?
Okay. I did not even know who that was until halfway through the movie. Victoria's like, oh, look, Jonathan Bailey. I'm like,
who's this guy?
I don't know who that is.
He's in Wicked. He's in Bridgerton.
Was like an art.
Yeah.
So can you tell me this? Would you have imagined that there is a world where Jurassic Park has ran its course faster than Fast and Furious?
No, because Fast and Furious ran its course 10 years ago.
But it's like they still making movies.
They're still making them. They're just not good.
I mean, what are they on, like 20 now? Like, it feels like 12. Like, they got to be on 12.
Part 2 of 10. I think they did 10, but they broke it up into 2 parts. Something like that. I don't know. I stopped watching after like 6.
I'm about to say, I haven't seen one since Tokyo Drift.
Once they started like going from street racers to like military members,
flying
I kind of moved
cars.
on. I kind of moved on.
They're flying Mercedes into space.
Right. And then, on Friday night, we're watching the hot dog contest. I didn't catch it live, but we're seeing it. And speaking of that, really good transition here into our next segment. So next segment, we're going to have Adrien Morgan on. So Adrien Morgan is a professional eater and competed in the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest on Friday. He is from right here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm watching the TV, and they're introing everybody, and it says Adrien Morgan from Baton Rouge. I'm like, yeah, that might be a little bit fun. Like, let's just do that on a Monday. Let's see what that's about. So we're actually going to do that next. That's coming up on the other side.
Lofton Staffing Services, we match hard workers with the most sought-after employers in the Baton Rouge area. It's a Lofton, you're more than just another employee. We care about your interests and we'll match you with a company that needs your skills. You can complete an application. You can schedule an interview. You can even browse jobs at Lofton.jobs. Lofton also offers an unlimited $100 referral bonus. Lofton Staffing Services, we've been putting people to work since 1979, 924-0200 and Lofton.jobs.
Live at lunch.
By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Dozy Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze. For the perfect blend of sweet and spicy, you can't go wrong also with the flash-fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
Sammy's Grill on Highland Road since 1988. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games in a casual atmosphere with the friendliest service. Right now, we're boiling crawfish 7 days a week. Monday through Friday, first batch comes out at 5 p.m. Weekends at noon. Sammy serves a wide mix of authentic Louisiana food prepared to order with the best ingredients available. Fresh Louisiana seafood, Cajun favorites, burgers, and po' boys, all built from scratch. Our kids' menu and popular appetizers are sure to please the pickiest of eaters. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road near Starring since 1988.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners. When it comes to retirement, there are no two situations alike. So Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you, your business partners, your legal team, and tax professionals to make sure those goals are achieved. Coastal Capital Advisors will work for you. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his great staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Edge Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net.
Have you been arrested or even issued a traffic ticket? Everyone makes mistakes. Hi, I'm Dana Brown from the law offices of O.C. Brown. If you find yourself in an unfortunate situation with the law, call us today and we can help you resolve your problem, whether it's just a traffic matter or something more serious. No criminal matter is too big or too small for us to aggressively and effectively represent you. Before making any decisions, call us at 225-343-1111 for your free consultation. You can also visit us at ocbrown.com. The law offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime.
This is Charles Hanniger for Home Bank. If you're tired of the impersonal, one-size-fits-all style of banking, you deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for your businesses and families because they go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business and good for life. Stop by any South Louisiana, Houston, or Natchez area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Ruffino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Ruffino's is a steak, seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. Whether it's the food they serve or the service they provide, their goal is to ensure a remarkable experience for their guests that is always remembered. To view our menu, visit ruffinosrestaurant.com. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
This is Charles Hanniger for Total Maintenance for AC and heating, generators, electricity, and plumbing. Total Maintenance is your one-stop sales and service shop for all of these needs. Service today, every day. That's their slogan at Total Maintenance, so nobody ever has to go to sleep hot. Over the years, Total Maintenance has expanded into the New Orleans area, as well as their offices in Baton Rouge with full staffs in both markets. Call 480-1000 in Baton Rouge or in New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny.
Welcome back in a Monday edition of Live at Lunch. Taylor Sharp sitting in for Charles Hannegriff and Jimmy Ott on this Monday. Hope everyone enjoyed their 4th of July. Speaking of 4th of July, Friday I'm sitting there watching the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. They're introing everybody, and a name pops up. It says Adrien Morgan from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm like, all right, that's pretty cool. Let's reach out to him. Well, Adrien was good enough to join us right now. How are you today?
Good, Taylor. How are you doing today?
I am doing well. Thanks for hopping on. Look, I'm watching this hot dog contest, and then your name pops up, and I'm like, okay, I didn't know we had a guy from right here in Baton Rouge. First off, are you still in New York?
Yes. Taking the kids to Legoland today.
Oh, man.
We are upstate.
Electric trip. Hope you had a good 4th of July. But look, I kind of want to dive into this topic because it's something I don't know a lot about. We sit here, we talk LSU, we talk Saints all day long, but how does one get into professional eating?
It was I was a fan first. I tell everybody. Me and my dad used to watch the contest every 4th of July when Joey and Kobayashi were going head to head. It was electric back then. You didn't know who was going to win. So I was a fan first. Around 2009, Man vs. Food debuted on Travel Channel, right? So I was into that. I had a big appetite. Never really considered eating in an eating contest before. So I tried, a few restaurant challenges. I thought it was a cool idea to go and eat a lot of food and get it for free, get a free T-shirt or name on the wall or whatever. I did pretty well with those, and through the research, found Major League Eating. Next contest they were having was in Biloxi, Mississippi. Peanut butter and banana sandwiches. That was back in January of 2010.
All right.
So I signed up, and I did pretty well, and I was kind of hooked because I was a sports guy in high school and never played in college. So I was hooked to the competition and the eating.
All right. So what did we play in high school? What were your sports in high school?
So I played at Woodlawn High. Played baseball and football.
Okay.
At the old Woodlawn.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so as far as getting ready for one of these competitions, whether it's Nathan's, whether it's the peanut butter and banana that you were just talking about in Biloxi, do you have a training routine? How does this work? Because you hear a lot of people say, oh, I could eat a lot, but the average person cannot go out there and do this. Do you have a training routine?
Yeah, so I'll train with food and liquid. When I first started out, I used to make huge salads, huge 15, 16-pound salads, and just take about an hour to eat these things. That's kind of where I got the rabbit nickname that was self-given because all my friends made fun of me because they said all I ate was rabbit food. So I thought it fit. And nowadays I kind of go for cheap starches, grits, oatmeal, something that's going to, stay in my stomach, help stretch it out for a little while, but won't be too bad on the calories. Usually for hot dogs, I'll do a couple of practices a year just to kind of get the flavor down. But yeah, I'll just do kind of a mock 10-minute contest at home. I'll kind of have old contests playing in the background to kind of help pump me up. But yeah, that's kind of how it happens.
So, like, what do you do? Whether it's we'll stick with Nathan since it just happened, but
Okay.
like, what do you do directly after one of these competitions? Like, you've trained, you had to eat a crap ton of hot dogs for 10 minutes. Like, after, what do you do?
Yeah, Nathan's is kind of one of the more ones that make you feel bad right after. So it's kind of like sprinting. You're very exhausted, and you also have all the food inside of you. There's a lot of rest. We go back to the room usually and take naps and shower and all that stuff, and then we usually go out and hang out that night and just take it easy. But you can imagine the eating, the normal eating habits are affected for a couple of days.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. Like, I'm on 4th of July, Adrien. Like, I'll eat like 4 hot dogs in an hour and feel bad about myself. Like, I can't imagine what you guys do. But look, whether it's Nathan's hot dog or any other event you've competed in, over this 15-year span, do you have a favorite? Like, if there's a competition out there, like, do you have one you have to enter? Like, is there a favorite for you?
So I was, I'm a competitive guy. I like to be able to win, but my capacity was never, somewhere of a Pat Bertoletti or Joey Chestnut or Takeru Kobayashi. So I always like kind of the more technique foods, something that's speed-driven, like crawfish or chicken wings, that I could do well at, that I had a chance to win, right? I was able to knock off Joey once or twice in chicken wings, so I'd probably go with chicken wings or crawfish.
Okay, so let's stick with that right now. Like, it doesn't have to be like, a world record or anything like that, but like your most impressive eating record, like the most impressive thing you've accomplished, what is that for you?
Oh, so I guess Louisiana, people from Louisiana. So I was able to knock off Sonya, the Black Widow Thomas, and oysters one year.
Okay.
So I'm not a very big raw oyster eating fan. I rather them char grilled, but I was able to take down 42 dozen in 8 minutes, and then actually we tied, and we had to do a 2 dozen eat off. So about 44 dozen oysters in about 8 minutes and 20 seconds.
Okay, so 44 dozen, not 44 individual.
Right. We had to eat them from the half shell with a little fork. It was put on by Acme. It was usually at Oyster Fest in New Orleans. So, yeah, 44 dozen in about 8 minutes and 20 seconds.
So going back to maybe a little bit of the training, like I know you said like, you got interested because of Nathan's, because of, man versus food and all that. And you knew you had a big appetite, but like, was there a point where you're like, okay, I'm like really good at this, like better than a normal person?
I guess I kind of had to learn how to fill my stomach at a pretty fast rate, like I had a big appetite, but I kind of had to train a little bit more and much more I can eat because, your stomach kind of grows a little bit each time you fill it and kind of stretch it to its max. But yeah, early on I was decent at it. I guess all of us kind of have that kind of intro, like we all have decent sized appetites and you just kind of have to train it like any other sport.
So what do you do? Like, okay, so Nathan's just happened. Is there what is your next one coming up?
Oh, so I'm kind of towards the end of my eating career. I've been probably doing like just a couple a year. I've been doing this since 2010. I got a couple kids now, so I just make about 3 or 4 a year. But they do have a big buffalo wing contest in Buffalo near Labor Day, so that's probably the next one I'm looking at doing.
Well, chicken wings are apparently your thing, so we certainly wish you luck there. Adrien Morgan joining us right now, Major League Eating. It says here you're ranked number 12 in the world. Like, how many eaters are there? Like, I'm not talking like nationally ranked like you. I mean, like worldwide. Like, how big is this now?
So Major League Eating ranks 50 eaters, but you got all these independent leagues, independent eaters that they'll travel around to independent contests. And then, we have Major League Eating hooks up with, the Japanese eaters sometimes and a little bit more of the international guys. They'll bring in, eaters for the Nathan's contest. yeah, it's really all over. Major League Eating is probably the biggest league, I guess, in the U.S. So, it's just spread around.
Adrien Morgan, professional eater, joining us. Adrien, thanks so much for your time today, man. It was fun.
Yeah, of course. Anytime, man.
That was, yep, you too. That was Adrien Morgan right there. Competed in the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest on 4th of July. I thought, look, we're going to do a little 4th of July recap. What's more 4th of July than the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest? All right, we're going to take a timeout. When we get back, we're going to go right back to the phone lines. Troy Mocker of Bet Rivers, who joins the show every Monday around this time. That's coming up next here on Live at Lunch.
That Electric Man, BatonRouge.com. Electric work, Charlie, is not do-it-yourself stuff at home. No. You got to call out a professional. You can call them out anytime. Yeah, they take calls 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Quality service for installations, lighting, electrical service, you name it, whatever you need. So need a little extra lighting for your office or for your home space, no problem. Guaranteed scheduled appointments. When it came to my house, it was right on the dot. Call ahead of time, 10 minutes later, they are there. Insured, free inspections, and estimates. We're licensed professionals, so you get quality service when we're dealing with anything from child-proof outlets, electrical safety inspections, dedicated computer circuits, or electrical code updates. Electric Man, BatonRouge.com. That's 372-5356, 372-5356, or Electric Man, BatonRouge.com.
Live at Lunch.
Sometimes it's so hard to find someone to do home repair, odd jobs due to storm damage, or just regular wear and tear over time to your home. Do like I did and call Clean Sweep Restoration and Demolition. Roofing, flooring, debris removal, electric, sheetrock, painting, and much more. Pretty much whatever home maintenance you need, Clean Sweep can handle it. Call Pat Green at 300-7064 for a free no-obligation estimate. Fully licensed and insured, reasonably priced, and for over 20 years in the greater Baton Rouge area. Clean Sweep Restoration and Demolition, 300-7064.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air. Find our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. For direct links, visit 1045ESPN.com. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference. All in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net.
With all of the financial headlines, are you worried if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. If you have more questions than answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's a new beginning. Stop by your local Edward Jones advisor. Tex Morris on Jefferson. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
At Town Square Pizza, we take pride in serving Baton Rouge with fresh, delicious, piping hot, personalized pizza with unmatched speed. Whether you're a downtown worker, a family looking for convenience and value, or an out-of-towner staying at one of the nearby hotels, Town Square Pizza is the spot for you. Try a specialty pizza like the Spanish Town Supreme or custom build your own. Family packs, kids' meals, and salads are available as well. It's hip to be square at Town Square Pizza, downtown facing. What else? Town Square.
Go Automotive has a great selection of new cars. Chevy, GMC, Hummer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. You rather a pre-owned vehicle? Using our resources will help find you any vehicle that you're looking for. Our service department offers VIP service. You never have to come to the dealership. We'll pick up the vehicle at your home or office, drop off a loaner, service the vehicle, and return it when it's done. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Chevy Tahoe I drive came from Go Automotive. That's Go Automotive in LaPlace and Plaquemine. If you're near the north side of campus, I need to remind you about a couple of longtime favorites. Highland Coffee's the original specialty coffee shop in Baton Rouge since the 1980s. My personal favorite, love getting my cappuccino from their friendly, knowledgeable staff, roasted right in the shop. Louis Cafe for breakfast and lunch 7 days a week. The Mitchell omelet, Cajun hash browns, Big Cheesy Lou, all served up in that famous open kitchen atmosphere. In Tigertown since 1941. A couple of great spots, Highland Coffee's and Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net.
ALS is a progressive and neurodegenerative disease, and we need your help to find a cure. The mission of the ALS Association, Louisiana, Mississippi chapter, is to discover treatments and a cure for ALS, and to serve, advocate for, and empower people affected by ALS to live their lives to the fullest. Whether you are newly diagnosed, a military veteran, a caregiver, or someone looking to learn more about how to navigate living with ALS, they can help. Visit als.org to learn more. That's als.org.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Jimmy, Charlie, and Troy. Three best buddies sitting around talking sports bets. Let's welcome in Troy Macker from Bet Rivers.
Welcome in live at lunch Monday edition. Troy Macker on the phone lines right now, but Jimmy Ott, Charles Sandgriffin not in today. Taylor Sharp sitting in for him, but let's go out there from Bet Rivers. Troy, how are you today?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I hope you had a good 4th of July holiday over the weekend. A lot of things to bet on. How did it all shake out for you over the weekend?
Yeah, we're kind of headed towards the dog days of summer. Obviously, people earmark the All-Star game in MLB as kind of the slowest week of the year. There's that one day where the only sports thing on TV, unless there's an international soccer tournament, is like the ESPN, which is pre-taped. So that means, we're getting bigger handles, or it appears that we're getting bigger handles on a lot of events that are usually further down on the leaderboard. We had a healthy betting intake on, some of the UEFA Women's Euros soccer tournament, especially with some of the value there on the top teams. There's a big golf. The one that I think would be bigger this weekend, if allowed in more markets, was the hot dog eating contest, which you can bet on in select markets, and there are obviously only select betting options. But I think in the 3 to 4 states that we took action on, it did pretty well. I think well over 2,000 people bet. It's high 5-figure intake. I would have to imagine most of that was on Joey Chestnut. Obviously, baseball's leading the way, but another interesting one this time of year in between the majors is golf. I was looking at kind of the winner from this weekend. Obviously, with Brian Campbell, who was $350 to 1, you could have gotten him. We had someone who wagered $60 on him pre-tournament at $350 to 1. That's a $21,000 payout. But if you look at last week, Aldridge Potgieter. Week before, Keegan Bradley, who's obviously a name but hasn't won in some time. Before that, at the U.S. Open, J.J. Spawn, Ryan Fox. And you got to go back to June 1st to get Scotty Scheffler. Those names I just mentioned are guys who are going to have longer odds. So some of these tournaments, Scotty Scheffler's not playing in, that a lot of premier players aren't playing in. There have been really good opportunities for the public to win because these long shots are winning. And even if you're not getting them pre-tournament, I know last week with Potgieter, you could have gotten them 100 to 1, 75 to 1, 50 to 1 in play, which is a little bit easier for people to bet on when they see a guy's name on the top of the leaderboard a Friday or Saturday. So although the book did take a slight win on golf this weekend, it was very close and due in large part to someone who started the event at 350 to 1 winning the event.
Going back to, this past weekend, you were talking about, where you guys took action, you did well, and the numbers, there was large figures on the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. Like, I imagine Joey Chestnut is an overwhelming favorite for this event. So, how much would you actually have to bet to win money?
Yeah, so I think he was minus 830.
Yeah.
I certainly don't know what it was right before the event, but I remember, I think Thursday night I checked it, and it was minus 830. And honestly, that's a little short, or a little too long for me in terms of what I would have put him at. Now, I know he had a year off, and I think it's hilarious that I'm trying to kind of handicap competitive eating.
No, for sure.
I know very little, but I would have figured he would have been, just an overwhelming favorite. So you put that at minus 1,000 or something. So the fact that he wasn't minus 1,000 is a bit surprising. So you would have had to bet, what was it, $800, $850 to win 100. Now, what you see a lot of people do is just going to parlay that with some other things, bring down the price. But, I think the handle increase from last year was due in large part to Joey Chestnut. Even if you're just betting on him to win a couple cents, people are more likely to bet because they at least know who that is compared to the rest of the competitive eating landscape where I don't think anyone can name a single person.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I tune into it every year. You know, it's more background than anything, but it's a quick watch. It's 10 minutes and all that. And they mentioned, they're like, oh, Bertoletti, he's the defending champ. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. But like Joey Chestnut didn't compete last year. So it's like, yeah, I imagine just an overwhelming favorite. But want to look, kind of into the future a little bit here, Troy. Troy Mocker, our guest right now with Bet Rivers. Any early Heisman odds right here in Baton Rouge? We got a guy, Garrett Nussmeier, high up on a lot of people's lists. Like, what are the Heisman odds looking like right now?
Yeah, right now it's Arch Manning is 6-1, Cade Klumenik 7-1, your guy Garrett Nussmeier 7-1, Jeremiah Smith, the standout from Ohio State 9-1. That's remarkably high for a non-quarterback at the Heisman. Certainly, we've had Devontae Smith win recently, but it's just like the NFL MVP. It is more often than not, it's a quarterback award. Drew Allers at 14-1, Julian Sands at 15-1, Dante Moore 16-1, Lenora Sellers at 18-1, the South Carolina dual threat quarterback, who I think is going to get a lot of early tickets. If they start off hot, I think that number could go down. He's been a very popular name in the offseason, and for those who watched South Carolina last year, they were in every single game. I can't remember what the record was, but they were. If they didn't win, if they were just around 500, they could have won 3 or 4 more games. I believe that LSU game was absolutely wackadoo. So he's going to be a name that you hear a lot, at least in the first month. The name that I'm completely selling on that list is Drew Aller. I've had a chance to see him play a lot at Penn State, and he's fine. He's good, but that's it. I don't think he has the ability to make big throws. He struggled in big spots, especially in that playoff game. So the fact that he's 14-1, like I wouldn't touch that unless he's 33-1, and they're now going on a run.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Drew Aller. Like a lot of people look at it and say, okay, well, they were great a year ago. It's like, yeah, he struggled. You lose a talent like Tyler Warren. You didn't bring anybody substantial to replace him. Like, I agree with you on that. But going to Arch Manning, being the favorite at 6-1, as you just mentioned, like, look, we're not blind to the human element of it, right? I mean, his last name's Manning. He's going to get it. But, like, what is it about maybe Arch, the Texas offense, that, like, people are liking? Like, why is he the favorite going into the year?
That's a great question. I don't know because I think he's good. I think he has the potential to be very good. I saw a headline last week, I think from the Feinbaum show, where someone said he's the best college prospect since Tim Tebow. And certainly the game earlier in the season last year, I think, where Ewers got hurt and he came in and ran like a couple really good drives, had some good long runs. Was it Oklahoma? It was a marquee game. That's what I remember. Maybe Georgia. So he's good, but to be 6-1 favorite, I think that is, the book being able to set that price short and knowing people are going to buy it because he's Arch Manning. He's the quarterback of Texas. His last name is Manning. And there's no longer a competition. He is the starter, and he's going to be the face of college football this year until, he struggles. And I think he could have some struggles. He's, and to win the Heisman, unless, it is usually like you start, and then if you have a bad game, you have to go to the back of the pack. And if you have good games, and then have a bad game late in the season, you go to the back of the pack. I think he could struggle early, which might help, but it depends on what. I think Cade Klumenik, who people thought would be very good 2 years ago, had a much better year last year and could be in a far better position to be a real Heisman candidate as opposed to 2 years ago when people, had him as a dark horse pick and Clemson struggled.
I'm glad you mentioned Cade Klubnik there. Obviously Texas, Ohio State, that is a huge game week 1, but also LSU, Clemson. And I know you guys, Bet Rivers, the odds are going to change all year long depending on performance. It's just like it does everything. But I would imagine, if Arch struggles and either Klubnik or Nussmeier has a huge game week 1 and their team wins, I would imagine they would probably be the favorite after that, right?
Yes. Yeah, because I think those numbers are so short, and certainly there is, especially on Arch, there's a lot of tickets. So there's not going to be as much volatility in the movement than, some other quarterbacks from past years where you have a bad week 1, you may go from 670 to 1,400. I think there's too much liability on Arch, and to know that people are going to continue to hammer him all year long because of who he is and where he plays. There's not going to be the flexibility to really drop him off. He'd have to have several bad games. But I do think Kluber can move up, and early in the year and then late in the year is when you see the most action and the most movement on Heisman odds, just because there's the most interest. When you get into the meat and the potatoes of the season, it tends to slow down a little bit, and a lot of quarterbacks have struggled, so it's really hard to make a wild adjustment when it could be week to week, and next week you bounce back because you got a favorable opponent at home. So it's really fascinating. But what we are seeing is, because of Arch Manning, far more tickets, far more handle at this point in the offseason on the Heisman than, I won't say ever before, but at least in the last 2 or 3 seasons. Because, a lot of times we really have to wait until late August before a lot of the volume comes in on Heisman. Not this case, not this season.
What are the odds, one more time, on Julian Sayin? Because you were mentioning Jeremiah Smith, but look, Sayin's in a QB-friendly offense. What are the odds on him right now?
Yeah, so we have Jeremiah Smith at 9-1, Drew Aller 14-1, Julian Sayin 15-1, Dante Moore 16-1.
I mean, I've seen Sayin anywhere from 14 all the way to 20. That's not bad odds there early in the year. Troy, before we get you out of here, anything you're betting on this weekend or coming up?
Yeah, I've had my eye on the Club World Cup. It's a perfect event, for the summer. And there's been a lot of disparity in kind of the competition, because in the group stages, you're having these powerhouses from Europe play MLS teams, or the best 2 teams from Africa, or the best teams from Asia. And there's a huge disparity. And we're now at the Final Four, and you have PSG, who won the Champions League. You have Chelsea, who won the Europa League. You have Real Madrid, need I say more. And then you have Team Fluminense from Brazil, who's the 6th best team in Brazil. They beat some decent teams to get here, but, none of the European sides. And so because they're in the Final Four, the semifinals, the odds are shorter than they would be. And they're playing a really good Chelsea side. So, I really like Chelsea to win. You can get them to win at plus 175, which is great, considering Chelsea is, a powerhouse and has won the Europa League. So I've been betting on some weird things like that. Wimbledon as well. This is a really fun time of year because you can kind of just wing it and, small stakes, but have fun learning about different sports, following the proper tippers. We at Bet Rivers have a great network of people who are handicapping soccer and tennis. And it gives us something to kind of whet your palate and stay fresh on sports, because we're, only a month away from, focusing all the way back on football.
Troy Mocker, Bet Rivers. Troy, thanks so much for hopping on with us today.
Thanks. Have a good one, guys.
Absolutely. That right there was Troy Mocker. All right, we're going to take a quick time out. When we get back, we're wrapping up hour number 1 here on a Monday edition of Live at Lunch.
Downtown, Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime. Both Charlie and I have used Dana's specialized team of attorneys for different reasons, for different things, for different reasons, for different stages of our lives, and did not hesitate one bit when some friends or acquaintances have some issues and need some advice as well. So, downtown Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime, certainly is mine. 343-1111 and ocbrown.com.
Live at lunch.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
Now, everybody's been to Louis Cafe by campus. Heck, it's been around since over 80 years now. We're still doing delicious omelets like the Mitchell, cheesy grits, Big Cheesy Lou, and those Louis' original Cajun hash browns. We now offer a pickup window. Just call in your order at 346-8221. Give us 15 or 20 minutes, and we'll have it ready for you. Our hours are now 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., 7 days a week. So next time you visit campus, make it a point to stop by and visit an old friend. Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
The new location of Los Reyes Mexican Grill on Wesley across from Mike Anderson's. Man, the place looks great. Lots of indoor and outdoor seating options with plenty of big TVs to watch all your favorite games. All of the traditional Mexican cuisine with a great happy hour, 2:30 to 6:30, 7 days a week. Plus, $5 margaritas all day, all night on Wednesdays. Great spot to bring the baseball team in between games, just 5 minutes north of Traction and 5 minutes south of LSU. Los Reyes Mexican Grill, 1072 West Lee, near Nicholson.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net. This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111, and ocbrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance. And Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt. The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games since 1988. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Fin Bomb, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee.
Get Moss Max and less text during happy hour at Modesto. Join us Tuesday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. for $10 20-ounce margaritas and Dip Trio with $5 drink specials and $6 seasonal cocktails. Eat Modesto, 3930 Burbank Drive.
Pizza that's true to its hand-tossed wood-fried tradition. Roca Pizzeria is heating up its new half-off happy hour, Monday through Fridays, 3 to 6 p.m. Come enjoy 50% off margarita, pepperoni, more cheese, craft cocktails, wine by the glass, and draft beer. Roca Pizzeria, 3897 Government.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny.
Welcome back in a Monday edition of Live at Lunch, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio here at Guarantee Media. Charlie, Jimmy not in today. Be back tomorrow, normal schedule. Taylor Sharp sitting in the host chair for those guys for the remainder of the day. We got just over an hour left. We about an hour and 10 minutes. Thanks to professional eater Adrien Morgan and Troy Maker of Bet Rivers for hopping on the show with us. Thanks to both of those guys. Right now, look, we got a few more minutes here before we got to take that top of the hour break. Jordan, this is something that you and I have talked about back and forth. I did it, man. I pre-ordered it.
Yeah.
I pre-ordered College Football 26. I did it on Saturday. I was like, you know what? We're going to pull the trigger. We're going to do it. I didn't want to. $70, but you know what? We made it happen. But then, you told me this. This is my fault for not listening. I didn't listen. Shocker. No one's surprised there on that front.
It happens.
I'm thinking, okay, I pre-order this bad boy. I get to play up Monday instead of Wednesday.
You're ready to go.
No, you have to get the deluxe version to play it on Monday. I did not. I got the basic because why the hell would you get the deluxe? So we got to wait till Wednesday, but I'm pretty fired up about it, man.
Yeah. The worst part about it is when you're having to wait like this until Wednesday is seeing everybody else that gets it. So they're all like, oh man,
I blocked it out as best I could.
Yeah,
I saw a clip today. It was like early clip of it. I was like, nope, turn it off.
You have to. That's always the worst part because it's like any other week. It's like, oh, I can wait till Wednesday. But now you've seen everybody, oh yeah, man, I'm starting my dynasty. Oh yeah, look at these new touchdown celebrations and all this. So now you're just like, you're kind of hating a little bit. It's like, I should have did it, but I'm not too worried about it. Again, we can wait till Wednesday. We can play 25 until Wednesday. It's okay. The sun's gonna keep coming up. I'm a little salty today. It's a little salt today, but we're gonna keep it pushing.
Oh, I'm salty because I've told you Road to Glory, my favorite game mode. Pretty much the only game mode that I play. Honestly, like I'll create a dynasty, do it for like a year, and I'm like, all right, I'm bored. Let me move on to something else. That's me. I'm going to grind on the Road to Glory, no question about it. But, I'm going to, commit to Alabama, okay? We're committing to Alabama from jump, signing day, flip it. That's what we're doing.
You can throw the hats off the table.
Oh, yeah. Bro, it's getting chunked across the room. There's no question about it. We're going to have Alabama, A&M, LSU hat up there.
Yeah.
Oh, both of them are getting thrown to the side.
Got thrown to the side.
That's what we're doing. Because I'm still salty. A year after year, you go in, you're like, oh, LSU's got this 5-star on board. All we got to do is get pen to paper, and boom, he flips to Alabama. I'm still salty about that. So, I am intentionally doing it the other way around. I realize that it's a video game, and Kalen DeBoer doesn't give a crap. But you know what, Jordan? Makes me feel a little bit better.
He's gonna feel me. It
makes me feel a little bit better.
And it's funny you say that when you talk about LSU just trying to get these 5 stars to the finish line, dude. It is. I'm just so tired of recruiting nowadays, man. You know what? When I was in high school, I used to love it so much. Like, oh man, I love to see. Let me see where Leonard Fournette's going.
The Under Armour All-American game was a big deal when we were growing up. Yep.
You gotta watch that. You gotta see. Oh, this guy's committing at 12:30. After the third quarter, such and such is going to commit. Nowadays, man, these kids are signing Adidas deals out of high school and whatnot. So then it's like, well, can he go to a Nike school? They still can do that. And then just for them to show up and you got them under recruited, but you got them recruited for 2 years straight just for them at the last second to go somewhere else. I'm tired, man.
Look,
I'm tired
man,
of this.
I'm glad you brought that up. We're gonna talk a little LSU recruiting at 12:15 because they had a big time weekend from Wednesday until Saturday. They got 3 recruits, all of them big time recruits. So Brian Kelly and his staff certainly had a happy 4th of July. But to your point, used to it was get on these guys late in their junior year, recruit them for a year, land them. Now, not only do you have to get on them when they're freshmen, some people are offering 8th graders, which is wild. You got to stay on them for 4 years for a chance that they flip at the last minute and go to somewhere else that gives them a bigger NIL package.
Literally.
And now, once you get them on campus, that's a year-to-year thing as far as I'm concerned. It's one of those things where, hey, every single year you can lose this guy. You talk about one and dones in college basketball all the time. They're not one into the pros, but they might be one and done at your particular program. It's a difficult thing. And we've seen coaches leave, and Chip Kelly, I understand he wasn't great at UCLA, but he leaves a head coaching job at UCLA to go be the offensive coordinator at Ohio State. Yeah. He doesn't have to recruit as much.
Literally.
There's coaches out there that are like, hey, I'd rather go to the NFL game now. Yeah. Than recruiting college because it's 24/7, 365 now.
Bo Davis, literally for LSU, Bo Davis literally was like, you know what, I'm gonna go be the Saints D-line coach.
And Bo Davis was a really good recruiter.
Yeah,
Bo Davis was somebody that didn't struggle in that area. But no, man, it's a different world. But
so tell me this, because I don't know, and I don't want to wait till 12:15. Lamar Brown, where did he go? Where did he end up picking?
Oh, he pushed his commitment day back.
He pushed it back.
Yeah, he pushed it back.
See what I'm saying?
So they got 2 commitments over the weekend. Neither Lamar Brown, but he didn't commit anywhere. He pushed it back.
This is what I'm talking about.
I mean,
there it is right there. There it is right there.
You got to push it back.
That is the epitome. Dude, this guy made it was going to be the biggest scene Wednesday coming up, and I'm like, okay, cool. Let's see what Lamar Brown going, just to find out he pushed it back. I thought that was you were teasing hey. That's one of the guys, and he's not even one of the guys. So yeah, I'm just over high school recruiting.
Hang on, I got the update right here.
Oh, here we go.
This was posted from Lamar posted this on Twitter July 1st. He said, "I will now be announcing my commitment 12/15 July 10th. So on Wednesday, he'll be announcing it at U High. So yeah, he did not commit over the weekend.
You know, it's funny. That's the date we get to play college football 26.
Right? We ain't even worried about it.
Yeah, I'm about to say, like, hey, bro, you might want to make it Tuesday, bro. We're going to be occupied.
But, no, man, I'm excited.
Oh,
I'm excited.
Taylor, that's why I'm so salty because I want it now. I just want after I get off work, I want to go play.
So, like, I was excited when the first one came out because, like, obviously, you know, when you and I were kids growing up, like, that was the game, right?
The midnight release.
And I was excited. Like, I would have been happy with anything, you know, coming out. But looking back on it, like, 25, like, wasn't that good of a game. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
you know,
it really wasn't.
The first one back.
Like, Road to Glory was very watered down. Even starting in your dynasty mode, like it was all a little
Road to Glory
watered
was
down.
terrible last year.
It was bad.
I'm about to say, forget watered down. The fact the play calling was terrible. The positions, you couldn't be in every position you wanted to be. You didn't start in high school. You literally didn't start in high school. So no, it was bad.
Which you will in the new game.
Yeah,
which I'm excited about.
Don't say watered down. Don't give him benefit. No, it was bad. That was bad.
It's so funny, like looking at all the the new modes and everything, and I'm looking back at the old one. I'm like, objectively, not a good game. Yeah. Not a good game, at all.
It's the hype though. Like, just what is it, like 10-year hiatus?
So it was 11 because the last one they made was 14. This was 25. The past one we had, so it was 11 years in between.
That's a long time. Man.
So I mean, and I graduated high school in 2014. So
yeah, you're basically right there with the last
really,
one.
Really from the last one. And like they always come out, like that one came out in 13 for the 14, season. So like I had that one in high school and that was it. So it'll be a little bit different, man. I'm interested to see. But all right, look, coming up in hour number 2, we're gonna get a little bit heavier into the sports talk. So we had Troy Mocker on at 11:30 talking about the Heisman odds. There are some updated odds. I'm gonna break that down, maybe give you my best value pick going into the season. We're also going to talk some LSU football as they had a huge recruiting weekend on 4th of July and some New Orleans Saints. That's all coming up in hour number 2 of Live at Lunch.
Live at Lunch.
Attention vehicle owners. Before you trade your transportation, let K&M Automotive give your vehicle a new lease on life with a remanufactured product from Jasper Engines and Transmissions. A Jasper remanufactured engine, transmission, or differential will extend your vehicle's life, giving you the extra cash to do the things you really enjoy. And Jasper offers a 3-year, 100,000-mile nationwide parts and labor warranty. K&M Automotive, 636-2875. That's K&M Automotive, Siegen near Perkins. Workbox can handle all of your movable storage needs, commercial and residential. Our shipping containers come in various sizes, 8x8, 8x10, 8x20, or even 8x40 feet. Not just one size. These units can be customized for any use. Custom lunchrooms, offices, work sites for plumbers or welders, dual purpose, part office, part storage, climate control, shelving, lighting, using different materials, whatever you need. Give my buddy Martin Padial at Workbox a call at 343-4886, 343-4886, and workboxllc.com.
This is Charles Henniger. For total maintenance for AC and heating, generators, electricity, and plumbing, Total Maintenance is your one-stop sales and service shop for all of these needs. Service today, every day. That's their slogan at Total Maintenance, so nobody ever has to go to sleep hot. Over the years, Total Maintenance has expanded into the New Orleans area, as well as their offices in Baton Rouge with full staffs in both markets. Call 480-1000 in Baton Rouge or in New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance. This is Charles Henniger for Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike, so Coastal Capital Advisors will tailor a plan for your family's needs, no matter your age or your financial situation. The bottom line is Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you and build a lifetime relationship. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Age Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC. Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Dozy Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with a sriracha glaze. For the perfect blend of sweet and spicy, you can't go wrong also with the flash-fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
Sammy's Grill on Highland Road since 1988. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games in a casual atmosphere with the friendliest service. Right now, we're boiling crawfish 7 days a week. Monday through Friday, first batch comes out at 5 p.m. Weekends at noon. Sammy serves a wide mix of authentic Louisiana food prepared to order with the best ingredients available. Fresh Louisiana seafood, Cajun favorites, burgers, and po' boys, all built from scratch. Our kids' menu and popular appetizers are sure to please the pickiest of eaters. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road near Starring since 1988.
What is the Baton Rouge Rougarou? Well, it's Summer Collegiate Woodbat Baseball, downtown Baton Rouge, June and July. Go to brrougarou.com and check out college baseball players from all over the country. They play in the Texas Collegiate League, and you can check them out at Pete Goldsby Field, downtown Baton Rouge. Go to brrougarou.com.
Insurance companies have teams of professionals to fight your claim. If you want to know what your case is really worth, I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7970.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers. LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
It makes me feel like that. It makes me feel like that.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny.
Welcome back in. Hour number 2 here on a Monday edition of Live at Lunch. Taylor Sharp sitting in the host chair for Charles Hannegriff and Jimmy Ott. We'll be back to a more normal schedule tomorrow, but you got me for the next 60 minutes or so. Wanted to have a little bit of fun there in hour number 1. You know, we kind of recapped our 4th of July weekend. We had on Adrien Morgan from right here in Baton Rouge. Major League Eating competed in that Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest on the 4th of July. And then Troy Mocker of Bet Rivers hopped on with us at 11:30 as he does every Monday. Right now, though, you know, I talked with Troy a lot about the Heisman odds. Well, I kind of wanted to look at it here as well. So this comes from Circa Sports, and this came out Thursday. And the same 3 favorites that Troy mentioned: Arch Manning 5-1, Garrett Nussmeier 8-1, Cade Klubnik 9-1. They are the top 3 favorites in that order. That's pretty much what it's going to look like, regardless of where you look. I mean, again, this is Circa. We had Troy on with Bet Rivers. They had Nussmeier and Klubnik switched. Klubnik had slightly better odds, but Arch Manning's going to be the favorite. And in the top 3, it's going to be Manning, Nussmeier, Klubnik. That's pretty much what it's going to be across the board. I'll say this. If Arch Manning goes to Ohio State and wins week 1, the hype around him is going to be something we have never seen before. However, when there's a lot of hype around you and you underperform early in the season, the criticism is going to be something that we've probably never seen before. We'll see how Arch does week 1. This further shows me, though, how massive of a game LSU Clemson is week 1. Not only does the winning team have wiggle room for the rest of the season, the winning QB in that game could be in the driver's seat early as the Heisman frontrunner. Like, let's say LSU wins that game. Garrett Nussmeier throws for 330, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. I mean, you'd be hard-pressed to find somebody with better Heisman odds after that. And then on the flip side of things, let's say Cade Klubnik, they defend their home turf. He wins the game. He throws for 300 and a few touchdowns. Cade Klubnik's likely going to be the favorite for the Heisman Trophy. Again, if Arch goes to Ohio State and wins, I mean, that's it. Arch would have to really screw something up in order to not be the favorite throughout the season. But who should you bet on? So, you know, we look all the time about, oh, this guy's the favorite here, this guy's the favorite here. Who should you bet on? And credit to Matthew Musso. He filled in for Moscona last week on AFR. He gave me credit for this. I told him he didn't have to, but that's the type of guy he is. He gave me credit for it anyways. We were kind of spitballing this Thursday before AFR, and I kind of gave him this idea, and I said, look, I'm going to use the same thing on Monday because it's something I've been kind of chopping up. I think I found the best value as far as who you should bet on for the Heisman Trophy. I think it's Julian Sayin at Ohio State. So when we had Troy on, he mentioned that at Bet Rivers, Julian Sayin was 15-1. Circle Sports has him 20-1. He has everything you need to be successful. He is the best player in college football to throw the ball to in Jeremiah Smith, whose odds are 16-1 according to Circa. Pair him with Carnell Tate. That's probably the best wide receiver duo in the country, at least coming into the season. And that Ohio State Buckeye offense with Ryan Day at the helm, like, they're always going to be a very QB-friendly offense. At least they have been in recent years. I really like Julian Sayin this year as a value play as far as your Heisman Trophy goes. You can get him right now at 20-1. And he's going to have weapons galore. And look, his running game is going to lose a little bit. There's no question about it. You don't lose Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins without taking some sort of a step back. But, I mean, they did a nice job. I mean, they bring in C.J. Henderson from West Virginia. You look at C.J. Henderson, his 3 years in Morgantown, over 2,000 yards rushing, 30 rushing touchdowns in 3 seasons. He also had a few receiving touchdowns as well. So 31 touchdowns from scrimmage in 3 years at Morgantown. Now that was a wide open offense, but he comes into a much better situation, much better O-line in front of him, better weapons outside of him to where teams don't have to key in on him. I think C.J. Donaldson could be in for a big year. Now, yes, he's not Travion Henderson or Quinshon Judkins, but I don't know if he has to be with the number of weapons they have on the outside. Because you saw what Will Howard was able to do in that offense. And look, hand up, like egg on my face at the end of the year. Coming into the season last year, I said, I think Julian Sayin's the best quarterback on Ohio State's roster. I didn't think Will Howard was going to be able to do it just because when you looked at his raw numbers at Kansas State, they weren't quite where you wanted him to be. They were under 60% in his career until he got to Ohio State. Like, yes, when you watch Will Howard, you can obviously see the talent's there. And my thought was, okay, he's going to be on the most talented team he's ever had, but he's moving up a level in competition as well. Like, Kansas State's good, but the Big Ten, that's a whole different monster. I kind of took the wait-and-see approach with Will Howard, and look, it paid off for Ohio State in a big way. And Julian Sayin didn't get much action last year because he was behind a guy who was as efficient as Will Howard was. I think Julian Sayin is about as talented as they come in terms of just raw ability. He was a 5-star coming out of high school. Remember, he goes to Alabama. When Saban leaves, he moves on to Ohio State. I think he has everything he needs to be successful. Like I mentioned, C.J. Donaldson in the backfield. I mean, they have James Peoples, who's coming back. Isaiah West is a highly recruited freshman. Bo Jackson, which there's a name for you. I'd love to have him in the backfield carrying the ball for me. Both of those guys are freshmen coming in. They're expected to compete for playing time. It's also their schedule as well. So when you look at Ohio State's schedule, yes, they have the massive game against Texas week 1. But that game's in Columbus, and I think Ohio State wins that game. They're going to beat Grambling. That puts them at 2-0. Ohio, Washington, Minnesota, Illinois, Wisconsin. You could potentially be 8-0, the defending national champions, playing Penn State at home on November 1st. The hype around this offense, whether it's Sayin or Jeremiah Smith, is going to be incredible. And then if you get past Penn State, like you end the season, Purdue, UCLA, Rutgers, Michigan. Now, they've had a hell of a time trying to get over Michigan the past 3 or 4 years, but I don't think Michigan is going to sneak up on them again. They had the inferior team a year ago, but they were still able to get it done. I think this year, Ohio State, they get over that Michigan hurdle. Like, there's a chance if you beat Texas and Penn State, both of those games are which at home. If you beat both of those teams, there's a chance Ohio State goes undefeated. I'm not saying it's going to happen. Like, there's a lot going that'll happen, throughout the season. There'll be peaks and valleys that the Buckeyes will have, just like every other team. But, I mean, there's a chance that they're undefeated. And you tell me right now, if Ohio State is undefeated with Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate on the outside for Sayin to throw the ball to, and they're sitting right there, top 5 in the country, defending national champs, undefeated, going into that conference championship. You're telling me Julian Saint's not even going to at least be in the conversation to be the Heisman winner? Now, again, I'm not saying he's going to win the thing because there's a lot of good quarterbacks out there, like Dante Moore at Oregon, who's the projected starter. He's 20-1. Drew Aller, who I don't think is going to be able to get this done, he's 12-1. Then you got Nuss, you got Klubnik, you got Arch. A lot of things have to happen. So I'm not saying book it, take it to the bank, this guy's going to win the Heisman Trophy. What I'm telling you right now is, if I were a betting man, watch out for Julian Saint. There's a chance he has a big year for the Buckeyes. Like, you look at some of the other names on this list, and I get people are going to say, well, Jeremiah Smith might be his biggest competition, and that's his teammate. No question about it. And when you look at the Heisman, you could say, okay, well, it's predominantly a quarterback award. Julian Saint has the advantage there. We've seen it twice in the last 5 years, a wide receiver take home the Heisman Trophy. 2020, Devontae Smith did it. He had that incredible season during the COVID year for Alabama. And then last season, Travis Hunter. But Travis Hunter was the two-way player. Like, if you look at Hunter's raw numbers at receiver, probably doesn't win the Heisman. But you pair that with him being a shutdown corner on the other side, that's really when it gets going. So, like, I get it. Recent years, receivers had to have a lot of success there. This is still a quarterback award. And I think Jeremiah Smith's great. I think he's going to have another great year. But I think Carnell Tate's going to have a good year. Ohio State receivers that receiving room is always loaded. There's 3 or 4 guys that I think can have a really good year in that Ohio State offense. But Julian Saint being the trigger man, throwing the ball to all those guys, I think he could potentially put up big numbers. And if things fall right for him in scheduling, you beat Texas. And again, if you beat Texas, Grambling, Ohio, Washington will be a battle. It'll be at Washington. Damon Williams is a pretty good quarterback. You get past that, though, you're 5-0, playing Minnesota at home. That's a win. Illinois will be tough because of Luke Altmaier and Brett Bielema. That's probably a win. You're 6-0. Wisconsin makes you 7-0. Then you're going to play Penn State, undefeated, and Penn State comes to your house. You win that game. That puts you at 9. Your last 3, Purdue, UCLA, Rutgers. There's a chance Ohio State loses 3 games this year. There's also a chance they go undefeated. And I think being the quarterback of the defending national champs who are potentially undefeated going into conference championship at 20-1 odds, I don't know if there's a better choice out there right now than Julian Saint. Just something to keep an eye on. Obviously, the odds will change as the season goes along, but early season, I'm looking at it now. I'm trying to find a sleeper pick, a good value play. Julian Saint might be that guy. All right, we're going to take a quick timeout. When we get back, we're going to talk a little LSU football. They had a heck of a recruiting weekend, pulled in a number of guys. We'll break it down next here on Live at Lunch.
Don't forget our friends at United Community Bank, the local way to bank big with locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow, including their newest location at Burbank and Bluebonnet. I have an account over there. So great stuff going on over at United Community Bank. So at the United Community Bank, running a business can be difficult enough without the right relationship with your bank. With United Community Bank's local business bankers, you're not just a number, you are a partner. Contact Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, or David Henry and discuss how we can help your business today. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Live at Lunch.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners. When it comes to retirement, there are no 2 situations alike. So Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you, your business partners, your legal team, and tax professionals to make sure those goals are achieved. Coastal Capital Advisors will work for you. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his great staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Edge Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
At Town Square Pizza, we take pride in serving Baton Rouge with fresh, delicious, piping hot, personalized pizza with unmatched speed. Whether you're a downtown worker, a family looking for convenience and value, or an out-of-towner staying at one of the nearby hotels, Town Square Pizza is the spot for you. Try a specialty pizza like the Spanish Town Supreme or custom build your own. Family packs, kids' meals, and salads are available as well. It's hip to be square at Town Square Pizza, downtown facing. What else? Town Square.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air. Find our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. For direct links, visit 1045ESPN.com. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference. All in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net.
Go Automotive has a great selection of new cars. Chevy, GMC, Hummer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. You rather a pre-owned vehicle? Using our resources will help find you any vehicle that you're looking for. Our service department offers VIP service. You never have to come to the dealership. We'll pick up the vehicle at your home or office, drop off a loaner, service the vehicle, and return it when it's done. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Chevy Tahoe I drive came from Go Automotive. That's Go Automotive in LaPlace and Plaquemine. If you're near the north side of campus, I need to remind you about a couple of longtime favorites. Highland Coffee is the original specialty coffee shop in Baton Rouge since the 1980s. My personal favorite. Love getting my cappuccino from their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Roasted right in the shop. Louis Cafe for breakfast and lunch 7 days a week. The Mitchell Omelet, Cajun hash browns, Big Cheesy Lou, all served up in that famous open kitchen atmosphere. In Tigertown since 1941. A couple of great spots. Highland Coffees and Louis Cafe just outside the north gates of LSU.
This is Charles Henniger. For total maintenance for AC and heating, generators, electricity, and plumbing, Total Maintenance is your one-stop sales and service shop for all of these needs. Service today, every day. That's their slogan at Total Maintenance, so nobody ever has to go to sleep hot. Over the years, Total Maintenance has expanded into the New Orleans area, as well as their offices in Baton Rouge with full staffs in both markets. Call 480-1000 in Baton Rouge or in New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net.
ALS is a progressive and neurodegenerative disease, and we need your help to find a cure. The mission of the ALS Association, Louisiana, Mississippi chapter, is to discover treatments and a cure for ALS, and to serve, advocate for, and empower people affected by ALS to live their lives to the fullest. Whether you are newly diagnosed, a military veteran, a caregiver, or someone looking to learn more about how to navigate living with ALS, they can help. Visit als.org to learn more. That's als.org.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny.
Welcome in, Monday edition of Live at Lunch. Taylor Sharp in for Charles Hannegriff and Jimmy Ott. They're back tomorrow, but for the time being, I'm with you for the next 45 minutes or so. Teased it a little bit there going into break. For the past week or so, the LSU coaching staff has done a pretty good job on the recruiting trail. So we'll start with the news that actually came out last Wednesday evening. It was a big-time get for the Tigers. 5-star edge rusher Trenton Henderson commits to Brian Kelly and company. 6'4", 224-pound edge rusher. He is a consensus top 80 prospect in the entire country. 247 Sports has him ranked as high as 28. The guy can play. And like you always hear, okay, well, don't look at stars. Look who is recruiting the guy. We chose LSU over Florida State, Florida, Auburn, USC, Texas. Like, the guy can play ball, right? Florida and Texas were his final three, along with LSU, before the Tigers ultimately won out. As a junior, Henderson, 10 sacks, 20 hurries, 18 tackles for a loss for Pensacola Catholic. Yeah, the guy's a player. And he's 224 pounds, but he's still got another year in high school. He can gain a little bit of weight for you. And this is a guy that you had to have. You needed this. And when you have a coach who coaches the outside linebacker, the edge rusher, whatever you want to call it, like a Kevin Peoples, who is so respected, you can make moves like this. You can get big-time players like this because of where he is regarded in the coaching ranks. Now, I mentioned Trenton Henderson. That was last Wednesday. Brian Kelly and his staff, they had a good 4th of July as well. They got a pair of commitments for the 2026 class. First one I want to mention, 4-star offensive lineman Bryson Cooley. He's 6'6", he's 315 pounds. Now, Cooley is listed as a tackle, but at that size, 6'6", 315, he can probably play inside or outside. I would imagine we would see him cross-train at both a guard and tackle. What that does is that gives LSU 4 offensive lineman commits already for the 2026 class. You have Emmanuel Tucker, the tackle, who committed a few weeks back. Bryson Martinez from right down the road at East Ascension. Both of those guys are tackles. You have guard Jalen Chapman. You have Bryson Cooley, who's listed as a tackle, but again, I think he could play guard as well. And then you're still after Emmanuel Iheanacho, the monster from up there in Maryland. I mean, he's like 6'5", 350 pounds. Like, that's a guy you're also after. He's going to be an interior offensive lineman for this team if he does decide he wants to be part of this class. The offensive line class you are putting together is impressive. And it's even better because that's a big question mark on this team. I mean, at least on the offensive side of the ball, without question, that is your biggest area of concern. Keep in mind, you lost 4 starters from last year's offensive line. Campbell and Emory Jones were your bookend tackles for 3 years. You also lose Garrett Dellinger, and you lose Miles Frazier. They were multi-year starters in this program. DJ Chester, the lone returning starter on this offensive line, there's a chance he doesn't even start at center. They've been trying to kick him out to guard. So your only returning starter is playing a different position than he did a year ago, and the other 4 faces are brand new. I really like what Brad Davis has done with this offensive line class, and they're not done yet. I mentioned Emmanuel Iheanacho. That's somebody they're still trying to get on board. Will that happen? I don't know. Everybody in the country's after him. He's up there in the state of Maryland. It'll be a tough get, but if they can pull that off, that's 5 offensive line. They can all play a variety of positions. That's a really good class for Brad Davis and company. It's already a really good class if you can keep it together. The second commitment came from 3-star safety Isaiah Washington from right here in Louisiana, from Haynesville High School. Now, he is 6'3", 180 pounds. He also plays quarterback for Haynesville in addition to defensive back. He's a dual threat QB. Now, he plays corner in high school, but projects as a safety at LSU. The number 3 safety in the state for the 2026 class. I mentioned he plays corner, projected at safety. Corey Raymond was the head of it, led his recruiting efforts. So that tells you how much they wanted him. It's an in-state guy. You call in Corey Raymond. He's the DB guru. You get him on board. Now, some may say 170 pounds as a safety. Look, he's going to put on some weight. He's a 2026 guy, so he's still got a year left in high school. And at 6'3", that gives you a rangy safety. If he could come in at 195, 200 pounds to start the season, I mean, think Deshaun Spears, who was about 6'3", 200 at the start of fall camp a year ago. Now, Spears played sparingly as a freshman, but, I mean, everybody was raving about the kid out there in fall camp. He's a two-way player. He can play corner and safety. He's 6'3". I really like this move. Again, he's only a 3-star, but that doesn't matter to me at all. Also, with Washington's pledge, LSU now has 14 commitments for the 2026 class, and he's the 3rd safety. I mentioned just a second ago that offensive line, a big question mark on your team. You did a really good job of bringing in transfers like Tamarcus Cooley, like A.J. Hawsey, but honestly, you got to see it. Safety's a big question mark for this team. So positions of need, this coaching staff is doing a good job of identifying positions of need and landing guys they think can make an impact. I mentioned he's a 3rd safety. Aiden Hall out of New Orleans, plays at Edna Carr, and then Dylan Purter, who's been committed to you for a while out of the state of Alabama. So they have 3 big-time safeties in this class and 1 guy in Washington that could cross-train a corner if you needed him to. I mentioned they had 14 commitments. Where does this class rank? On 3 right now is their composite rankings. So they kind of look at every different recruiting service, put it together in their composite rankings. They have LSU at 7 overall. Now, that's pretty good considering right now you only have 14 commits. Because, when you look at the teams in front of them, USC, Georgia, A&M, Notre Dame, Alabama, Ohio State. But LSU only has 14 commits. Like, for comparison, USC has 31 commits. They're not keeping all 31 of those guys. They're getting a lot of guys on board early to commit, and then they'll either wean them out or some of the guys that were in between USC and another program are likely going to flip. You're not going to land all 31 of those guys. Or at least I don't think so. Georgia, they're ranked second, 27 total commits. Again, it's going to be hard this early on to hold on to all 27 of those guys. A&M 24, Notre Dame 25, same boat. Now, Alabama and Ohio State are at 19 and 21. That's more manageable. But like LSU, all the teams ahead of you, Alabama's the closest one to you in terms of number of commits. They're at 19. You're down at 14. You look, they give an average rating on 3, like per recruit average rating. LSU's average rating per recruit is 92.07. That is actually better than all 6 teams ranked ahead of you. So it's a quality versus quantity thing right now for LSU. You get a couple more pieces on, hold on to the guys you have. Tristan Keys, holding on to him is going to be paramount. Like, I don't care about recruiting rankings as much as did you fill a position of need on a player you think can make an impact for you. But, I mean, you look at it, LSU lands a couple more highly recruited guys. Like, they could sneak into the top 5. I think there's no question they sneak into the top 5. The question's not if, it's when, and the bigger question is how high can this team be ranked? I think there's no question they finish in the top 5 because the class looks really good. Like, you look at this class, I mentioned 14 commits. Tristan Keys is obviously your highest. I mean, he's the number 5 player national. Then Richard Anderson, the D lineman, he's a 5-star as well from Edna Carr. And then Trenton Henderson becomes your third 5-star. The class, top to bottom, looks good. Like, you have good receivers on the board, like Jabari Mack still committed. You've done a good job at corner. Haven Finney. We just talked about Isaiah Washington that can cross-train. Aiden Hall, Bryson Martinez. Like, you know the names. You have a really good mix of offense and defense, everything you need. The only thing you're missing is you don't have that quarterback. Will you land one? I would say it's likely that LSU lands one. Now, they swung hard for Bo Bentley and missed one. It was down to LSU, Oklahoma. Bentley chose Oklahoma. Then you immediately offer Bryson Beaver. You get on him late, but he commits to Oregon like the day after you offer him. So you swing and miss on that guy. I imagine they're going to land someone. And, you know, the old adage of you have to land a quarterback every year in high school. That was kind of the initial thought process of, hey, if you don't land a guy out of high school, you're behind when it comes to quarterbacks. 2 reasons I'll push back on that a little bit. Like, look, I would love if LSU lands a quarterback in the 2026 class because I do think it's important. But I don't know if it's as important now as it used to be because of the NIL era, because of the transfer portal, right? Look at some of the top teams in the country. I mentioned that Julian Sayin was at Alabama. He's at Ohio State now. Oregon, Dante Moore, he's coming in. He's a transfer. Oregon's had like 4 transfers in a row. Half of the teams in the SEC, Jackson Arnold's moving from Oklahoma to Auburn. Oklahoma goes and gets John Mateer from Mississippi State. Blake Shapen is in his 2nd year starting at Mississippi State, but he was originally a Baylor. The transfer portal makes it easier to fill those last remaining needs that you can have, and you can get a quality player as well. Michael Van Buren, your backup quarterback for this season, played last year at Mississippi State. You went and got him because you were like, hey, this guy showed promise as a freshman. Can he sit for a year behind Nussmeier and potentially be your starting quarterback in 2026? I still think it's important, but the transfer portal has kind of helped with that a little bit because you know what you need. You're looking for those final pieces. LSU can go hard after a quarterback in the portal if they don't land one in 2026. The other thing I want to mention is the 2027 class is an incredible quarterback class. And I imagine you're going to land at least one of them. You have Peyton Houston and Elijah Haven right here in the state of Louisiana. Both of those guys are in the 2027 class. I would imagine you're going to go after both of those guys very, very strong. Colton Nussmeier, the younger brother of starting quarterback Garrett Nussmeier out there in Texas. He's a 2027 guy. That's an LSU tie. You have 2 Louisiana guys. You have a guy in Nussmeier who has LSU ties because of his brother. And then Gunnar Rivers, he's rising up recruiting rankings as well. Now, his father's Philip Rivers, but his uncle, Stephen Rivers, signed with LSU and was here for multiple years before ultimately moving on to Vanderbilt. That's an LSU connection. There are a lot of guys in 2027 that are highly regarded quarterbacks. You got a connection to almost all of them. No, you're not going to land all 4 of them. Hell, I don't think you're going to land 2 of them. Can you get 1? Now, what you're going to have to be smart about is going after that one guy that you want really, really hard, but still keeping the other guys kind of in your back pocket. Like, let's say you go after Colton Nussmeier, right? He's a legacy. His brother was a good quarterback here, and you swing and miss on him. Can you fall back on an Elijah Haven, on a Peyton Houston, on a Gunnar Rivers, or are they already committed elsewhere? That's going to be LSU's biggest issue. But as far as landing one of the top quarterbacks in 2027, I think they're going to do that. And then the transfer portal will help alleviate if you do not land a quarterback in 2026. So, like, while it's important, it's kind of the biggest hole right now in LSU's 2026 class. I don't think it's quite as important as it was maybe 4 or 5 years ago. We'll keep an eye on it. Right now, LSU, 14 total commits, 7th ranked nationally, according to the On3 composite rankings. I expect both of those numbers to rise as the season goes along. All right, we're going to take a quick timeout. When we get back, we're talking a little New Orleans Saints next. This is Live at Lunch.
Chad Reynolds, a Legacy Title, 296-0060 for all of you real estate closings. Ashley Donald, Mariana Haynes, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, our great staff at Legacy Title. Buying, building, refinancing. Nobody chooses but you. Choose Chad Reynolds, a Legacy Title, 296-0060.
Live at Lunch.
We're here to examine things that get better with age, like this bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, vintage 1877. Age can make things more valuable, like this Picasso from his Blue Period, 1904. And treasured, like this Roto-Rooter jingle, 1954.
Roto-Rooter jingle?
Just listen to it.
Oh, Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
A timeless melody.
Roto-Rooter?
The lithe arrangement.
But it's a clog-busting company.
Wrong there. Roto-Rooter has grown into more than a clog-busting company. They're North America's largest full-service plumber and drain cleaner. And when you need Roto-Rooter, remembering this jingle can be priceless.
Roto-Rooter.
For all of your plumbing and drainage solutions, call Roto-Rooter in Baton Rouge at 925-8710. That's 925-8710.
Get Moss Max and less tax during happy hour at Modesto. Join us Tuesday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. for $10 20-ounce margaritas and Dip Trio with $5 drink specials and $6 seasonal cocktails. Eat Modesto, 3930 Burbank Drive.
Pizza that's true to its hand-tossed wood-fried tradition. Roca Pizzeria is heating up its new half-off happy hour, Monday through Fridays, 3 to 6 p.m. Come enjoy 50% off margarita, pepperoni, more cheese, craft cocktails, wine by the glass, and draft beer. Roca Pizzeria, 3897 Government.
Congratulations are in order for one of my favorite places to eat, Snow's Seafood and Steaks, celebrating its 50th anniversary. That's right, since 1971, Snow's has been serving a wide assortment of menu items to please everyone. Steaks, seafood, gumbo, homemade soup, salad, specialty cocktails, great wine selection, and oh yes, the best white chocolate bread pudding that you'll find anywhere. It's the total dining experience. Happy 50th anniversary to my friends at Snow's Seafood and Steak, Airline Highway at Highway 74 in Gonzales.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net.
By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Dozy Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with a sriracha glaze for the perfect blend of sweet and spicy. You can't go wrong also with the flash fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111, and ocbrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance. And Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference. All in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net. 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge. Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny.
Welcome back in a Monday edition of Live at Lunch. Taylor Sharp here with you, filling in for Charles Hannegriff and Jimmy Ott. We got about 30 minutes or so left with you here on this Monday. Right now, I want to look a little bit at the New Orleans Saints. Russell Jackson put up this article on our website over at LouisianaSports.net talking about the Saints cornerback position, the questions surrounding it, and the future of Asante Samuel Jr., who's currently a free agent. Now, if you remember, back in May, the Saints hosted veteran corner Asante Samuel Jr., but at the time it was said he was due for a medical check in early July, after which time he'd be cleared and able to sign with the team, ideally in July or August. Well, it is early July, so kind of want to look at, that potential relationship, what he would look like on this team. Now, Ross does mention that the Philadelphia Eagles, San Francisco 49ers, and more could be also in on the action for Asante Samuel Jr. I say if Asante Samuel Jr. is fully healthy, you have to make this move. Now, for what it's worth, it was a stinger situation that he was dealing with that is what he had been battling for quite some time. But if he's cleared, and we should find that out any day now, I think you make this move. So when I was filling in on AFR last week, I mentioned Stephon Gilmore as a potential option. Gilmore will be 35 years old at the start of the season. He is a former All-Pro player, and he was still solid last year for the Minnesota Vikings. He would be a plug-and-play guy for you. It doesn't appear that the Saints want to head into that direction. But do they go younger with Asante Samuel Jr.? He's 25 years old. He's still a young player, and up until last season, he was pretty healthy. So last season, I mentioned he was battling that stinger. In 2024, he played in just 4 games. But before that, 21 started 12 games. 2022, 15 games. 2023, 16 games. So he's still been very, very healthy up until last season. This is more of a one-off. It's not one of those, this guy's hurt every year. What do we need him in the building for? He's really just had one bad injury that's kind of been limiting him. You go look at what he's done. 6 interceptions in 4 seasons. He's been a really solid corner. And, there was an interesting write-up in Ross's, like an interesting note I want to mention in Ross's article. He mentions he could reunite with Brandon Staley due to his time with the Chargers. He said the 5-foot cornerback played Staley's star role when in Los Angeles, which is obviously that slot corner spot, a spot that the Saints could be looking for a backup behind Alontae Taylor, and Samuel also brings valuable boundary corner experience. I understand what he played in Brandon Staley's system in Los Angeles with the Chargers. He has to be an outside corner for this team. There's no other way around it. Look at what you have right now on this team. There is such a big question mark for the New Orleans Saints that everybody's chalking up Kool-Aid McKinstry as like the guaranteed starter. And keep in mind, he's a second-year player that played sparingly as a rookie a year ago. You bring in Isaac Yiadom, who has been a solid veteran. That's all he's been, is a solid piece, which is fine. Quincy Riley comes in, who's kind of gotten off to a little bit of a slow start due to an injury, but there's promise there as well. And then you have Alontae Taylor, who's predominantly been that nickel for you instead of the outside corner. You can't move Alontae Taylor for two reasons. One, he's been really, really good as your nickel corner. Secondly, when you've put him on the outside as that outside corner, he hasn't graded out very well. He has to stay inside. So let's say McKinstry does lock down one side. I mentioned Yiadom's a veteran piece. That's kind of all he is. He can be a Band-Aid for your defense. Is that enough, though? I like Quincy Riley, but are you going to roll out a rookie cornerback and a second-year pro who played a little bit as a rookie? Is that what you're rolling out there week one? I'm not saying those guys aren't talented. It's just you're asking a lot of those young players to go out there and do that. A really young player on both sides. If Samuel's fully healthy, he's already proven more than any other player in that room. Again, I mentioned it, 6 interceptions in 4 seasons, really in 3 seasons. Because last year he didn't have a pick, he played in 4 games. His first 3 years in the league, 6 interceptions, over 170 tackles, 173 tackles in a 3-year span. If you do decide to sign Asante Samuel and he is fully healthy, he could be a really good player for you if he's back to that 2023 form. Now, I'm still giving him a 1-year deal. It's still got to be a prove-it deal for me until he proved that he can stay healthy. But, and Ross even mentions in his article, a 1-year deal would make a lot of sense. It would provide New Orleans an experienced piece in its secondary, while also providing Samuel a chance to hit the market again in 26 to seek a larger deal if he's successful with New Orleans. I mentioned this with Stephon Gilmore a week ago. If I was the Saints and Gilmore was interested, would I sign him? Yes, because there's no downside. At the bare minimum, you signed a guy and Gilmore's value was like 1 year, $5.3 million. You sign a guy, 1-year deal, $5 million. If he doesn't work out, cut it. If he does work out, you can either sign him long-term if he's younger, like a Samuel, and he can be your long-term answer at corner, or if you like the progress you've seen from a Quincy Riley, you can still move on from Asante Samuel and plug in Quincy Riley when you ultimately think he's ready. I don't really see a downside to this move. Because, a lot of people are talking about the secondary as a whole. I don't hate the safety room. I mean, it's a question, certainly. Like, Tyrann Mathieu not getting any younger. You do bring in Justin Reed, who's been a really good player at times. And then Jonas Sanker, people can't say enough good things about him. Like, Ross Jackson put out another article on LouisianaSports.net mentioning, like, it wouldn't shock him if Jonas Sanker became a starting safety for this team in 2025. I think there's more talent in the safety room than there is the corners, but you have to have some sort of experience on the outside, and you don't have it. I mean, going back to Kool-Aid McKinstry, he's a guy you drafted in 2024 with a second-round pick, and he played a little bit last year. He showed some promise, but he wasn't an everyday starter for you, and so many people now are saying, well, who do you plug in next to McKinstry? Like, hold up now. If McKinstry is like the certain in your cornerback room, then you got some issues. Not because he's not talented, but he hasn't proven a ton in the NFL either. At least not as an every down player. Jordan, I asked you your opinion on this last week when you and I were talking about Stephon Gilmore, and you kind of agreed with me being like, hey, there's no downside. So like Asante Samuel, 10 years younger, just 25 years old, if he is fully healthy, should the Saints make that move?
I mean, without a doubt.
Right?
It's more about the NFL is a grueling season.
You got to have it.
Yeah, bodies will drop. No, regardless of, you guys think this guy's an Iron Man or whatnot, bodies will drop. So the more the merrier for sure, especially, you can get him on a 1-year deal. It will kind of suck if he balls out for the Saints and he's on a 1-year deal and somebody else going, scoop him up and pay him a lot of money. But beggars can't be choosers. You're going into a season where potentially you could have 3 starting cornerbacks, under 27 years old, between Riley, Kool-Aid, and Alontae. That's, Yeah, NFL, yeah, it's a young man's game, but you kind of need a little bit of veteran leadership. Obviously, Asante doesn't have that. I would have still liked to have, bring Gilmore in there so he could teach these guys how to be be pros and how to, learn the cornerback game. But in a sense, I don't think it's really kind of like a win-win situation. If you ask me, it's a win-win.
It is because again, like I mentioned that, like the projected salary for a guy like Stephon Gilmore, 1 year, $5 million. It's gonna be something similar for Asante Samuel Jr.
And it's
sure.
1 year.
Yes, he's a lot younger.
Yeah.
Like again, at worst, you sign a guy, he's not any good. You lose $5 million. You cut him at the end of the year. No big deal. Or you let him walk.
Literally, like
at best. He wants to stay in New Orleans. You sign him long-term. You have a long-term answer at corner. Or another positive, you bring him on. He's good for 1 year. Yeah. He lets Quincy Riley learn behind him. Riley steps in as a long-term answer. No harm, no foul.
Yeah. It's a win-win
Thanks
situation.
for your time, Asante.
Yeah.
We'll see you down the road. We appreciate your effort.
And
there is no downside to this. And I keep going back to, there's not a ton of experience at corner. There's not a bunch of guys that have proven anything. Take that out. Let's say all these guys are studs. Let's say Edom, McKinstry, Taylor stays in the slot. Like, I'm not moving him. And then let's say Quincy Riley has a good season. It's 3 guys.
Yeah.
If you keep Alontae Taylor in the slot, that's 3 guys in Edom, McKinstry, and
Riley.
Yeah. Like, who do you have? Like, Rico Payton's on the roster.
Yeah,
but
you know what I'm saying?
Is that guy going to be your everyday? So, take skill, experience, take that out of it. You still need somebody else because you just need bodies at this point.
You need bodies. And you don't want to be in a situation where, you're grabbing guys mid-season off the street. You never want to be that team. You got to call up the practice squad guys and all this. You never want to be that. So it's a win-win situation. Also, the biggest thing you said was, Brandon Staley. Like, this is old defensive coordinator. It wouldn't be that much of a, trying to learn the playbook and all that. He's pretty much going to have the same concepts and whatnot. So you can come fit in seamlessly, in the middle of July and August, right before training camp. So I think that's
if he's
another
fully
positive.
healthy, 25 years old, he'll be in shape. Like there's videos of him now.
Yeah, I know he's working out for sure.
In the offseason workout. Like he's going to be in shape. I'm not worried about that.
Yeah.
Again, Ross mentions that the Eagles and the 49ers could potentially be interested in him as
the
well.
Eagles, they always do some stuff like that.
They don't need him quite as bad as you. Like, I'm not saying outbid anyone for this guy and get into a bidding war with a guy that basically didn't play all last season. Like, he played in 4 games. He's coming off of an injury. But honestly, like, I don't want you to get into a bidding war, but if you're the Saints, you kind of got to do everything you can to get Asante Samuel Jr. on this roster. All right, look, we're going to take a quick timeout. We get back. We're closing out a Monday edition of Live at Lunch next.
Live at Lunch. The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games since 1988. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Fin Bomb, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
You've heard me talk about Workbox services and how they can handle all of your movable storage needs for both commercial and residential. With our shipping containers of all sizes, customized in any way that you need or desire. Now Martin Padial has expanded his coverage outside the Baton Rouge area. Workbox can now service the Gulf Coast and New Orleans areas all the way to Lake Charles. Our staff at Workbox continues to grow with Hannah, Martin Jr., Brandy, and Chris. Do like I did when I needed a movable storage unit. Call Workbox at 343-4886 or workboxllc.com. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road since 1988. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games in a casual atmosphere with the friendliest service. Right now, we're boiling crawfish 7 days a week. Monday through Friday, first batch comes out at 5 p.m. Weekends at noon. Sammy serves a wide mix of authentic Louisiana food prepared to order with the best ingredients available. Fresh Louisiana seafood, Cajun favorites, burgers, and po' boys, all built from scratch. Our kids' menu and popular appetizers are sure to please the pickiest of eaters. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road near Starring since 1988.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air. Find our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. For direct links, visit 1045ESPN.com. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference. All in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
The new location of Los Reyes Mexican Grill on Wesley across from Mike Anderson's. Man, the place looks great. Lots of indoor and outdoor seating options with plenty of big TVs to watch all your favorite games. All of the traditional Mexican cuisine with a great happy hour, 2:30 to 6:30, 7 days a week. Plus $5 margaritas all day, all night on Wednesdays. Great spot to bring the baseball team in between games, just 5 minutes north of Traction and 5 minutes south of LSU. Los Reyes Mexican Grill, 1072 West Lee, near Nicholson.
Baseball and softball players of all levels get the competitive edge you've been looking for at Total Diamond Performance. Do the same lessons, camps, classes, and clinics used by top college and MLB organizations. Everything from mental performance, in-game video, and data analysis to improve pitching, throwing velocity, bat speed, and fielding. Total Diamond Performance is tailored around the individual player to build strength and athleticism while also cleaning up mechanical deficiencies. Matt Mastretta applies what he's learned working in player development with college and MLB teams. Total Diamond Performance, 931-3730. That's 931-3730.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny.
Welcome back in. Monday edition of Live at Lunch. Taylor Sharp here with you, filling in for Charles Santa Griffin, Jimmy Ott. Just about 4 minutes or so left with you here. Not a ton of time, but look, we had a good time filling in. They will be back tomorrow on a more normal schedule. But look, sometimes things happen. You got to fill in last minute. We made it happen. Thanks to Cassie. She got here about 10:15. I'm like, hey, you got time to do some videos? She's like, yeah, sure. We'll hop right in. And we made it happen. So thanks to Cassie Bazzali, Jordan Kitchens in as well. Okay. Again, got about 3 or 4 minutes left. Jordan, I'm sure you saw this, and you always laugh at me whenever I complain about the alternate uniforms for LSU because I hate basically every one of them. Like me and Hunt Palmer, that's the one thing where we're connected on. I hate them.
And I'm a lover. Yeah.
Okay. But you're a huge Saints fan.
Yes, I am.
The Saints are unveiling an alternate uniform this year.
Oh, wow.
They don't know what it's going to be yet. How do you feel about it? And I imagine, it's going to be a new one. So, don't think, the black helmet, which black helmet sucks anyways.
Sucks.
It's terrible. So, I'm thinking, something they haven't done or haven't done in a while.
All right. Did they say it's just a new uni? It's like a helmet with it, too?
They said alternate uni.
Okay, so I'm assuming it's a helmet. I'm going to assume, let's just assume it's a helmet with it. Fingers crossed. I would like to see them bring the gold jerseys back.
Okay, so me and Moose talked about this. My opinion was gold jersey, white pants, white helmet.
I don't know.
They've never. Now, I'm not saying I love it, but I'm saying they've never done it before.
Yeah.
You could keep the same gold fleur-de-lis.
Okay.
White helmet. Okay. The gold jersey, like you were just mentioning, with their color rush white pants.
It depends on the gold jersey because I have a throwback gold jersey, and if it's that colored gold, it's gonna look disgusting.
I'm not talking okay, remember the gold they had when Reggie Bush?
Yeah, that's the one I have. Yeah, that's one like that.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't necessarily have to be that gold.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking a gold.
I would like to see a white helmet. I think they should have did the white out with the color rush. I think that's because what was the point of adding a black helmet on an all white uniform?
Right. You don't even have a black helmet normally.
Literally.
I would wear the black helmet with the all black, but they don't. Like it's
exactly
it's,
like
it
it's
makes
literally
no sense.
it's literally the simplest fix in the universe. But apparently there's some rules and regulations behind that why they couldn't do that. Nick Underhill broke it down because obviously we was bombarding him like, bro, why they keep wearing the white with the black? But he said it was like a uniform thing. Now I don't think they have to worry about that now because everybody got different uniforms.
Yeah,
so,
they're lax. You can wear whatever number
you
want
can
to
do
wear.
whatever.
Now.
So hopefully they can do that all black for sure.
It can't be the gold you're talking about.
Yeah, that would look ugly. No.
Well, because it's a black number.
Yeah.
If you do black number, white helmet, white pants, that's stupid.
Too much going on.
You'd have to have the white number to match. Like that would be the one where I'm like, even if it doesn't look good, I'm okay that you tried it. You know what I mean? Like because it's not boring, but it's not too out there.
So
but again, you could go all white helmet head to toe as well.
I'm a little scared about the trying things because teams hit or miss. Because like the Seahawks with the all green,
that's the risk you take.
Yeah, I'm about to say that's the risk you take.
That's the risk you take.
You got scared money can't make money. You got to spend money to make money. So I get that. It's just, bro, the Saints we desperately, and I mean this, desperately need this to be a hit. You desperately need this to be a hit uniform. You can't get clowned again. Bringing a black helmet out, wearing white uniform, like you gotta get this together.
I don't think it's gonna be that. It's gonna be something they haven't done. At least not in a while. They're not gonna be like, "Hey, we're bringing out an alternate uniform." Guess what? It's the same one we've been having. I don't think they're going to do that.
Did you say the date? Did you say the date for it? Oh, they didn't drop a date for it. Oh
no.
Man, I'm not
so
ashamed.
just
I'm
at
excited.
some point. No, they will. Like more information will come out as we get closer to it. But it's.
I really didn't know about that. You kind of, and I'm like, all right, I'm juiced up now.
They announced it late last week. I haven't hosted and been able to talk about it. So I wanted to get your thoughts because I'm like, look, you're the biggest Saints fan in this room.
Yeah.
No question. I was like, that was something that I wanted to get your thoughts because you clown me all the time about not liking the LSU alternates, but that's because I'm a huge LSU fan. I like what they have now. Leave it alone. So I was like, well, let's see Jordan's thoughts on the
I will
new,
say this, it's much needed.
On the alternate. Okay, so you're good with it.
Yeah, I feel like they need a shakeup. They need a shakeup. I'm not saying, get a whole new uniform scheme and all that. I mean, I would like that, but I just think it's about time. The Saints definitely need a new uniform. You've been wearing the same black and white jersey plus a little color rush for God knows since Drew Brees was still playing. So it's needed for sure, definitely.
Okay. All right, look, that's pretty much going to do it here for a Monday edition of Live at Lunch. Taylor Sharper with you. Thanks so much for listening, hopping in the YouTube chat. We've had some fun today. Look, we recapped our 4th of July weekend. We had Adrien Morgan on, a professional eater from right here in Baton Rouge who was in the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. Troy Mocker hops on every Monday at 11:30 to give us what we should be betting on. Thanks to those guys. And then hour number 2, we were sports wall to wall. We did some Heisman odds, some LSU recruiting talk, and then New Orleans Saints in the last segment. Stay tuned tomorrow for more Live at Lunch.
Live at Lunch.
Do you know what you would do if you were in a car wreck?